Hello everyone, today I would like to talk about the brushes, about brushes shape and what kind of job they're supposed to do with these particular shapes. This information probably would be very useful for those people who just start their journey in makeup and just look into all these brushes. They think, oh my god, why we need so many brushes? And in this video I would like to show you exactly what kind of shapes make some particular jobs on our eyes. I would like to divide all brushes into three big categories. The first one, this is the largest, the fluffiest brush we have, which we use above the crease. The second category, this is the brushes we meant to work on the lid and pack the color on the lid, and also of course blend with the transition color. And the third category, this is the small brushes, pencil brushes, smudge brushes, precision brushes, everything what needs to work on the small areas of our eyes. Let's dive into the brush world. And the first category is these fluffy, longest bristle brushes. I will be showing you different brands. So the white one is from Morphe in collaboration with JACLYN Hill. And this is the blue one is a triangle handle. This is the Bdellium tools from Golden Triangle series. These brushes has long bristle and it has a kind of tapered shape. This tapered shape, as you can see right here, the area which has a cut, and over here as well, it's kind of oval tapered. This is also oval tapered, and this kind of rounded. This brush actually, it's triangle shaped tapered, and from this side it's rounded tapered. So this is the working area of this brush. You can see that this brush, for example, it has a longer working area or the tapered area. This one is a little bit shorter, this kind of even longer, but at the same time it's more accurate, not that fluffy like this one. So all these areas, I would say this is the working area. This is where the brush spreads the color. All these three brushes meant to be for the transition color and works on this area of your lid. So it's the upper area of your eyes, under the brow. So with these brushes we apply the lightest color, which we use probably as a base, and the transition color bring all the colors on your eyes into your skin. This is kind of blending color, so it makes the darker colors which you will apply later to the crease to deepen the crease. It makes this transition area smoother. The larger area you have, the more color will be spread on your lid. Even if you dig into a little bit on the tip, you don't need probably to dip into the whole area. It's up to you actually. Whatever look you're trying to create, this is the way you use your brushes. If you are using this brush and dabbing into your eyeshadow and take just a little bit on this one, you have to understand when you apply it on the lid and making this kind of motions and then the circular motions, the color will be spread gradually from the bottom to the up according to this area, and you're working on the lid. These brushes, they have just different dense and stiffness like all other brushes. This brush is stiffer, you can see, and this one much softer. This probably for more delicate eyeshadows with a very good pigmentation and you would like to build it very slowly. This probably just a little bit faster, but it also depends on what kind of products you work and what kind of eyeshadow you use. Definitely you need this kind of brush to apply the transition shade. This is the largest brush. Now I will compare this with the next brush. This brush is just a little bit smaller than this one. If you have small eyes, probably you don't need these brushes and you can just pick right away these brushes, a little bit smaller. But at the same time, this brush you probably need minimum 2 brushes. This one, 2 brushes, and these 2 brushes. I think it is essential, minimum 2 brushes of this one. What it does, it actually also can apply with a transition shade. The working area of this brush is a little bit smaller, so you have more precise application, or you can go with the darker color. So you take the deeper color than the transition shade and start applying into the crease. So the color, let's say from orange to yellow, and blend them with these brushes. So this is kind of a blending brushes and they can wash color off. For example, you can see that there is a little bit of harsh line, so you're taking this kind of rounded tapered brush and start a little bit wash the color. Bdellium tools usually softer brushes and JACLYN Hill is stiffer brushes. This brush, it's a brush from NYX. This brush is very interesting one. I will show you why. You can see that these brushes are a little bit pressed over here and it's rounded tapered. This brush is also pressed, the bristle a little bit longer. From this side, from the wider side, it has rounded tapered, and from this side it's kind of oval tapered because it's not very sharp over here. This brush actually is very convenient for me. When you apply the transition shade onto your eyelid and you don't want this transition shade to go on your eyelid, this brush is just make an amazing job because it's a little bit pressed from one side. So it's not that fluffy everywhere. It makes less area of the brush which might go over here and also the spread color over your lid. Sometimes when you're making the smoky eye like I have right now, that's fine, that's great. This is what you need. You need to blend all colors together and make this beautiful gradient of the colors. But in those situations where you would like to have kind of cut crease, and you would like to separate colors which you have on the crease area and above from the colors you have on the lid. So this brush is kind of more precise, it's not that fluffy, it has smaller working area over here, and when you press it, no any hairs come from this side. You press it here and nothing will touch from here to your lid. This is actually the amazing shape. Whenever you see this kind of shapes, probably look deeper into them. That's very convenient. I bought it from NYX. It was a 5-piece set. I'm not sure if it's available or not. Anyway, if I will find, I will give you the link down below. When you check this video, in case it doesn't work, I'm sorry, probably that's just a limited edition. It doesn't have any number, but this is the first brush. When I bought it, I was, wow, this is what this brush for. This is what kind of job it's supposed to do. So this is brushes for the transition shade, this kind of for the crease and washing the color and blending colors all together. And we're moving forward to the crease brushes. If you would like to dip your color into the crease more, you go with crease brushes. Compared to all these brushes, this is the shortest one and the smallest one. Now, when you're working in a crease area, of course, you need something more precise. You have to deepen this area. This is where this brush is actually absolutely amazing, and this is a must-have. This brush, it's from Bdellium. This shape, you might not use it every time or all the time. It's tricky brush because it's pretty fluffy, so it takes a lot of area in the crease, up and down. It doesn't have this precise application. What it does, sometimes you need to pack a little bit color on the outer V. You're applying the eyeshadow over here and then you're going up, and whatever left on the brush, you would like to bring it into the crease and blend everything here. And also to use circular motions over there, blend everything out. This is great. But if you would like to have a little bit more precise application, and this brush is a must-have. I'm not talking about this particular brush. I'm talking only about the shapes. It has very elongated oval tapped brush. You have application over here. You have the large working area over here. So you can apply the color in a very small thin area and then blend it out very carefully with the circular motions. You also can pack the color on the outer V with this brush. You also can apply the transition shade, not with the huge brush under your eye, with a small brush under your eye. If you look to the wine GOSS brushes, he has 5-piece set in his collection. If you look at his brushes, all of them has this shape. I am not surprised why, because this shape you can do everything. You can make it longer and you have kind of these brushes, but he has more accurate shape. I like the more accurate shape because it gives you this feeling you have more control. That's why this brush took my heart. The more accurate shape and different size of the bristle gives you actually absolutely everything. And I think this is the idea behind the wine GOSS brushes. I don't have that set, but according to this theory and according to the information I am telling you right now, those brushes should be amazing and they have a luxurious feeling because they made from the high quality hair. Most of them used from goat hairs. I'm gonna buy those sets because I really want those brushes. I think I will work a lot with them. Let's move on and talk about the packing brush. So this is the next second category in my definition of the brushes. This is the packing matte eyeshadows on your eyelids, and just would like to show you them side by side in comparison with the transition color shade, blending brush and the crease brush. And this is how they might look like. This is flat, but it's kind of still fluffy. The Bdellium brushes, you can see the tapered kind of triangle and rounded on another side. These more fluffy brushes are rounded tapered on one side and rounded tapered on another side. This brush is bigger, this brush is smaller. Definitely this one has more precision. It has absolutely the same shape, just smaller. This one is fluffy, it's softer definitely, it looks more stiffer brush. And this is what you're gonna do. You pack the color on the eyelid and then you can bring it in a crease and you can make it in the circular motions, also blend this color off. So with these brushes, you are packing the darkest color in your eye look and blending it all together with other colors. Mostly working on outer V, outer C, whatever how you call it. With this brush, it's smaller brush, so probably you need the smaller area, then you need more control to working on a small area. The smaller brush, it gives you more control, more precision application. This fluffy brush, they do the same job. I noticed that Natasha Denona, she mostly works with this kind of brushes because she likes this kind of motion. She spreads a little bit color like she's painting. She's really a makeup artist. I love her a lot. There is kind of brush I have. I will show you. This is the packing brush. This is actually from the same mix collection where I found my favorite crease blending brush. It's from the same collection, it's flat, it's the packing brush. It's supposed to like pack color probably like this. I found this brush a miss. It does the job, but it's not really convenient. So the flat brushes I do not recommend at all because it might give that effect that the color will fly over your face or around your eyes, not only just fall out on this area, but also on the nose, like upward, on your lashes, everywhere, because you will be trying to pack it and move around like this, so it's not convenient at all. When you see the flat brushes, probably it's not gonna work, so just leave it. With this brush, you cannot really spread the color because it's gonna make the harsh line. You don't have much control because there is a huge area and you cannot control this area. With The flat fluffy brushes, you have the bigger area, or you can turn it in another direction of working with this brush. So you have a control with these particular brushes and you don't have control over here. This gives you more mess. If you would like to apply the eyeshadow over your lid, that's fine, that's gonna work, but you don't need it all over time. This will do everything, different kind of jobs. It has more precision application because you direct the angle of how you're gonna work with this kind of brushes. This direction or this direction, you will press more, you will work with the whole area of this brush or just with the tip. So a lot of different kind of situation you can work with this packing brush. Now we're packing the metallic eyeshadows. Metallic eyeshadows can be packed with the fingers. Most of the time it gives you the better job. But at the same time there is flat, not fluffy, flat, very dense and stiff brushes. Brush is essential in your kit. Definitely you will need it and definitely you're going to use that brush. Now I would like to move on to the third category of small brushes. This is the pencil brushes I have. You can see they might have different shapes. This one is tapered, it's rounded. This is almost flat, but still it's rounded. This is a triangle shape. This is triangle, very sharp shape. And this one, this is not really a pencil. They call it smoky eyeliner. So it's kind of a pencil brush as well. You definitely need them. Those brushes mostly work you under eye area. This brush actually, which has this tip, it's kind of triangle, but at the same not very sharp, but has a tip at the end. This brush from Sephora number 29. Why I like this brush and what it gives me. If I need the eyeshadow, one color, dark one, and gradually applied on my lower lid, I will put it on a tip. And then when I moving it here around, I'm using the working area of this brush. It's here. And it's spreading from the tip gradually according to this working area, gradually under my lower lid. This is how works this particular brush. About the rounded pencil brushes, what they do, they cannot make a precision application because the tip over here is pretty much, and when you start blending, it's pretty much taking the whole area of this rounded brush. And this good for the transition shade, not for the dark shade, for the transition shade. When you already applied the dark shade onto your lower lash line, then you take the transition shade which you use, for example, above your crease, the first lightest one, and you just smoke it and blend in this dark color into your skin using the pencil brush with the rounded shape. This kind of brushes, it look almost the same, but does a little bit different job. This brush is also can do this job. I love this brush. About the pretty sharp pointed brushes. This is soft, this is fine, whatever you need, you can use it. About this one, it's pretty sharp because it's pretty stiff one. We are moving forward, and about the smudge brushes. The smudge brushes is also the small brushes. They smudge the eye pencil. You apply it on the lower lid, on the lower lash line, and then you need to make a smoky effect of this eye pencil. So this is the smudge brushes for. You can do with them applying the darkest color on your crease and making the cut crease effect. For example, I don't like to apply the concealer to create the cut crease. I like to make it with the colors. So the precision, the smudge brushes also can do this job very well because it's pretty stiff, but at the same time the tip is very soft. So you have more control to applying the color and spreading that a little bit. Layering like very thin line of the black eyeshadow over this one. Dark brown, light brown, orange, you know, so you can play with these brushes, for example. Now about the small flat brush. Compare with the flat brush, regular flat brush, which we use for concealer, for the metallic eyeshadow. This brush is very small and also for very precision work. I usually use this brush for the eyebrow arch and for the inner corner because I use the same color. For example, with the big flat brush, I use the metallic eyeshadows or I apply the concealer. Then I have to clean or something like that. It's better to have something separate. And anyway, because the highlighter and over here usually the same color, so you first apply it on your inner corner and then on your eyebrow arch. So this small brush is also essential. Why it differs from the pencil brushes? Sometimes pencil brushes, they don't take so much highlighters. They doesn't work with the metallic eyeshadows pretty well. This flat brush, it works with metallic eyeshadows very well. That's why you need this one along with the pencil brushes, because normally and usually we apply the metallic satin eyeshadows which we would like to press and shine. Pencil brushes mostly for the satin and matte, especially for the matte eyeshadows and smoking them out. This is not for the smoking, this is pressing the eyeshadow on your eyelid. Now I just would like to mention one more brush. It's a flat brush. This kind of brush is flat, so it's pressed and it's also kind of P-shape. You dig into the black eyeshadow and you can apply, deepen your eyelash line with this brush. Any kind of dark brown or purple or whatever you need to darken your lash line, you can use this brush. Or maybe this kind of wide one, Wine GOSS. He has a very nice, small, tiny brush. It also has kind of P shape, but it's very small. Really, in this area near your lash line, I really would like to have more precise application, and this one is kind of huge. Really, it does the job, but it's big. I would prefer that one which one GOSS has. This brush is essential in your kit as well. Not exactly this brush. I'm talking about the idea to put the color in between your lashes. Now let's talk about the eyeliners. I just used this brush for my eye look, which I'm wearing right now. This brush is for the gel eyeliners. This one you can apply, for example, damp this, make them wet and use with eyeshadows, using them as eyeliner. I use that one for the silver line on my eyes today. The eyeliner has to be very sharp. It also has to be pretty soft. When I bought this brush, I never saw anything. It's like the edge of the razor. This is the sharpest liner I ever seen. I thought it's not exist. Actually, this brush is very interesting one. This is from IT Cosmetics. I made the whole eye look with this brush. This brush has 4 different options. First of all, it has this fluffy brush, which you can see it's not completely flat, it's kind of rounded, but it's pretty big one. And it takes a big area. It takes a lot of area. So if you apply the transition shade, it would be pretty all over your area over here. It has a huge working area. Then the second position is kind of working in a crease. So this brush is really great for the smoky eyes I'm wearing like right now. I'm having 3 shades. I am starting with the lightest one and going deeper and deeper. So you don't need to clean this brush during your makeup look. Of course, you start with the clean brush with the lightest shade, both eyes, then crease shade, both eyes, and then the darker shade. You're packing the color onto your eyelid and also blending it everything all together. And then you blend the liner with this perfect sharp eyeliner. If you don't use this kind of look, probably you don't need this brush. But when I saw this brush, I just want it. I knew it's gonna be nice. I will create something with this brush. I will use it. Yeah, I love this one. And you can travel with this brush, so you don't need to carry a lot of brushes, you just can carry one brush. The spooler brushes, this end of the brush, it's an angle brush. You just apply the eyeshadows or brow shadows to your brows, and then you just lift everything up with the spooler. If you fill in your brows, whatever you do with your brushes, you probably need them. Usually I apply the brow gel using the pencil on my brows, so I don't use spooler much. But if we're talking about the essential brushes in your kit, this is considered as an essential type of brushes in your kit. For me personally, it's not essential at all, but normally it is. I would like to talk also about kind of specific brushes. This is the angle brush. This is probably kind of also a multifunctional brush. It's pretty soft, and what it does, you take the eyeshadows on your tip, and when you blend in it, this is the whole working area of this brush, but you have the eyeshadow just on the tip. When you start blending this, the color from the tips goes slowly upward, and that's why when you apply it on the eyelid, for example, you put the dark color on the tip and you're working in the crease, so this dark color will be transiting slowly upwards, making a gradient with this particular brush. This brush also can be used as a blending brush. This brush can also be used as a wash brush if you would like gradually again to spread the color. For example, you want to remove the harsh line over here. As long as it has this angle, you will remove the harsh line and it's gradually go to the normal color without washing it off. So this kind of not the essential brush, it's kind of for more convenience probably. I don't know, I'm not using this brush a lot, but sometimes, yeah, oh, it's very soft. Oh, it's very nice. Yeah, it's washing the color or something like that. For example, I would like to blend the color on the brow arch with the transition color. So I also take in this, which one I would like to blend more. I'm choosing the angle and apply this brush accordingly. So this is pretty much it about all the eye makeup brushes. I just would like to speak a little bit about GOSS 5-piece brush set and SONIA G 5-piece eye brush set. Both sets has 5 pieces. Both sets for eyes, but they have kind of different shapes. As you can see, the SONIA G, it has completely different shapes of the brushes, and GOSS, as I said, he has most probably only one shape, but different sizes of the bristle. And those brushes works perfectly for every area of your eye. It gives you everything. Just you don't have the flat brush, which you can use your finger and apply the metallic eyeshadow. The SONIA G, she has a pencil brush, she has a working, she has a flat brush over here, she has a crease brush. She has actually different types of brushes in her set, and this is also amazing. SONIA G, she has stiffer brushes than the GOSS brushes. The GOSS brushes, they are very soft, luxurious feeling. SONIA G is kind of stiffer, but they absolutely work as for any kind of eyeshadows. They will do the job for you. They will work with any kind of type and quality of the eyeshadow, I believe, because it's a little bit stiffer. It's probably work even faster, maybe a little bit. But sometimes when you're working with the softer brushes, it gives you this luxurious feeling, and it works perfectly with very pigmented eyeshadows with a high quality kind of luxurious feeling. And this do everything for you. So I love both sets. I mentioned them because actually I'm planning to buy them. And I mentioned about these kind of sets because first of all, we're talking about the eye brushes. Secondly, I didn't mention anything about the luxurious brushes, about the quality brushes at all. But I gave you the idea about the brush shapes and what kind of job they do. And here's the examples of how the idea behind the brush shapes gives you the set and how it's going to work. You can decide whichever brushes you would like to have, the quality of the brushes, the softest, everything you have to try yourself. But now you just understand what kind of brushes, why you need them, what kind of job they do. The rest then you have to try yourself and understand what works better for you, what kind of brand, for example, softness or stiffness. This is just your personal decision. Here you go. That's it. If you like this information, you found it useful for you, subscribe to my channel and click the ring bell button below so you will be notified every time I post a new video. See you next time.